tonight, more wildfires burning in Labrador while evacuees anxiously wait to return home.
I'm Peter Cowan, live in Labrador, where there's lots of help that's arrived from outside the province and plenty of help happening here in the Big Land. I'll bring you the latest.
With my drum, and even this fist is belonged to my late brother that just recently passed, so I'm wearing that with pride. So I'm really proud to be here today and represent our Indigenous people.
It's National Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm Colleen Connors, and I'll tell you how people in Corner Brook are celebrating.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin tonight in Labrador, where a tremendous effort is underway to ensure the wildfire burning near Churchill Falls stays south of the river. There are 11 active fires burning in the province tonight. That's 4 more than yesterday. 3 of those new fires are in Labrador, and according to officials, they're burning out of control. About 40 people remain in Churchill Falls, operating the plant and providing essential services. The rest have been evacuated. And that's not expected to change in the next 48 hours. There is 1 fire burning on the island tonight. That's in South Branch on the west coast. The province's fire duty officer says that's pulling much needed resources from Labrador.
We have 10 fires in Labrador and we have 1 on the island. We were disappointed to see the 1 fire on the island. We want no fires to take away from the resources that we have expended in Labrador. The extra fires you're seeing in Labrador, those are remote and in areas where we're simply going to monitor those fires. There's no values at risk.
Well, about 750 people have been forced to evacuate Churchill Falls, and as I said, it's still not safe for them to return. Many are waiting out the wildfires in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. That's where Peter Cowan is live again tonight. So, Peter, let's start with the fire. What's the latest?
Yeah, so Carolyn, there's some good news and there's not so good news. I guess let's start with the not so good news, and that is this wind. It is not what you want when you have a forest fire because it can help fuel it. At least the good news is it's coming out of the north, which means it's pushing the fire away from the river. That river is important because if the fire jumps over the river, that's what puts Churchill Falls in danger. The good news is there has not been any flame activity seen on the eastern part of that fire. That's the part that is near Churchill Falls. And that's the part that water bombers have been really busy on today. Those water bombers, 4 from this province, 2 from Quebec, and another 2 from Ontario that actually just landed here at the airport and took off again in order to help fight that fire. They've been laying down a lot of water on that area, and they've been able to keep it from crossing the river. And the reason they need to use so many aircraft with this fire is because it's a fire they simply can't tackle on the ground.
The fire behavior predictions, it's a difficult place to put actual firefighters on the ground. And so far, except for the other day when we had an unusual weather behavior, the air tankers are keeping that fire at bay.
In fact, one of those air tankers is just about to land here. They've been cycling them in and out. What officials really need, though, is a big dump of rain. They said that's what would really make the difference, that would allow people from Churchill Falls to actually go home.
Mm-hmm. And Peter, speaking of help, we've been hearing about the outpouring of support. What other acts of kindness have you seen from people in Happy Valley, Goose Bay?
Everyone here seems to be trying to think, okay, what can I contribute to try and help with this situation? What do people need that I can try and address? And so, for example, the nonprofit thrift store here in town decided to open its doors and say, hey, if you're from Churchill Falls and you're missing something, come on down and we'll give it to you for free. And so they've been handing out things like bathing suits or t-shirts, all the sort of things that people just weren't able to take with them at the time.
Yeah, we've had lots of hugs, lots of tears. People have been so grateful, and we're just playing such a small part in this. It's beautiful to see our whole community come together and try to put all the puzzle pieces together to support the folks that are here.
We've talked a lot about people's physical needs, making sure that they've got a place to sleep and food to eat and clothes to wear, but there are also people trying to address the emotional needs, especially for kids who are away from home, they're separated from their friends, and so this afternoon at the Friendship Center, they allowed kids to come and do a whole bunch of activities, things like being able to paint a picture as a way to be able to remember what happened, but also process what has been a stressful couple of days.
Knowing that we've got such a sizable crowd in from Churchill and it's the last week of school and, not playing out the way that anybody would have liked for it to. Thankfully, we have this fantastic partnership with our local youth early intervention and outreach worker with NL Health Services. We put off things all of the time, and we've been very lucky to, work together to kind of jump on things that youth are expressing interest in or where there's an anticipated or perceived need. And so clearly we've got a lot of kids out today to do the painting, so I'm really happy for the turnout and happy that folks seem to be enjoying themselves and something to keep busy with.
It's scary, but we're with really nice people. I decided to paint my dad and then the forest fire. I just wanted to remind everybody that the forest fires aren't like a joke, and it's actually really scary for some people. And I painted my dad because he was gone for a few nights because he had to stay back for work, and he was one of the only people there, and I really missed him.
I'm painting actually a picture of the fire. This is going to be the mountain. I'm going to have flames coming up the top here and have the lake down here. It's kind of fun to be getting my mind off some of the stuff that's happening.
Seeing the community come out together has been definitely one of the positives of this whole experience, and certainly at the Friendship Center, like the partnerships that we have with other community organizations are very vital to the work that we do, and so a huge thanks to them. It's always reassuring to see how many folks are really doing their best and they care about the well-being of Labradorians, and we work to take care of each other, so that's always a beautiful thing.
Well, what kids and adults here in Happy Valley Goose Bay want more than anything is something that no one here can give them, and that's the ability to go home. Reporting live from Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Peter Cowan for Here and Now.
Well, not all evacuees traveled to Happy Valley Goose Bay. Some made the journey west to Labrador City. NL Hydro worker Shane Ivany packed up his camper and hit the road Wednesday evening, traveling with his pregnant wife, their 2 children, and 2 dogs. The former firefighter spoke with the CBC's Daryl Din from their campsite about what it was like hitting the road, not knowing where they'd end up.
Basically, you're given less than an hour to sort of pack up and get ready, and did you immediately knew you were going to take your camper with you?
Not immediately, I didn't. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And the biggest issue there was obviously we didn't know where we were going. But when they said they advised us to go to Goose Bay, but they said we'd come to Lab City, that's when I decided, I'm going to take my camper and go.
And you said you're telling me before that you used to be a firefighter. So what's it like sort of be on the other side of sort of like dealing as a evacuee of a fire?
It's a bit different, I must say. I was actually talking to the Deputy Chief in Churchill there yesterday, and he said, "You wish you were here, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I kind of do, because it's in my blood, right? And firefighting's huge to me, and I know how hard it is and how extreme it can be. So it's a big change for me, hands in my pockets waiting for something to happen, right? So it's a big change, but so far they're controlling it good over there, which is great."
And you said you were checking with your crew, like still left manning the hydro station, and things are good?
Yeah, so all my crews luckily is out of Churchill Falls, but all my a couple of workers that I work with are still in Churchill, and I've been checking with them, and they're doing well. And all the rest of my group, some of them are here and some of them are in Goose Bay, and I check in with them 2-3 times a day, so they're all doing well as well.
And you didn't come by yourself. Can you tell me the whole clan with you?
Yeah, so right now my wife's 7 months pregnant. My daughter is 2 years old. My other daughter is 8. She's with us, and we have 2 dogs with us. And we're planning on going on vacation, but that got car-washed, so we had to come here. So we're just waiting to get back now. So we're all living in this little tiny camper trying to get by.
And have you been talking to anyone else who's here in town?
Yeah, I've been keeping in contact with a few of my friends that are here over from Churchill, and they're all doing well, good spirits. Obviously, everyone wants to get home, right?
Do you have any better insights of what's happening or how things are looking?
It's not much different from what the government is actually telling people. It's the same thing. I know they just sent out a notice they're going to have an update at 1 p.m. It's basically right now it's smoldering, and they're hoping that they can knock it down today with the extra help from Quebec coming in with the water bombers. So we're really hoping that can ease up the strain on the fire and get it out, and we can get home sooner than later.
It's a reminder for anyone, in these kind of situations, what are the things that you should be taking with you?
Well, for me, for one, is gas, because my truck almost ran out coming to Lab City. But the biggest things is obviously all your personal documents, your life insurance policy, stuff like that. If you have children, make sure they're packed up before you get packed up. Make sure they got their clothes, their favorite toy, and make sure you got dog food as well with our pets. But yeah, that's the main thing. Make sure you got your personal documents. It's a big thing. Wedding pictures and stuff like that, that can be redone as long as you got them on a computer. Sadly, my computer is in Churchill Falls, but someone got that for me, so we should be fine there.
Well, in other news, police say an escaped inmate is still on the loose in western Newfoundland, and they're concerned for the safety of a woman that may be with him. The RCMP say the 31-year-old Tyler Bennett escaped the West Coast Correctional Center in Stephenville last Friday. Police now believe Bennett may be with 36-year-old Pamela Crocker of Cowhead, and they're concerned for her safety and her well-being. Anyone with information about the location of Bennett or Crocker is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Well, now to other news. The RNC and the RCMP say they've made the province's largest ever seizure of fentanyl. Police say the fentanyl was seized from a home in Steadybrook earlier this month. A 25-year-old man has been arrested on drug possession and trafficking charges. The RNC says 2 recent deaths in western Newfoundland may be linked to fentanyl, while the province's chief medical examiner says deaths related to the drug are on the rise.
In the past, I would say that we are lagging behind the other provinces. I can slowly see that our province is getting an increased number of individuals dying due to the drug toxicity. While last year we finished with 9 cases overall in the entire province of fentanyl-related deaths, we already have 11. So the trend is going up, and it's scary. The problem that is there's no safe dose.
Well, the start of Marine Atlantic service between Argentia and North Sydney has been delayed again. Marine Atlantic says crossings from Argentia won't begin until July 3rd. The delay is a result of problems with the lubrication system on the company's new ferry, the Evacuee. The start of the service had already been delayed by nearly 2 weeks, but Marine Atlantic says it's taken longer than expected to repair those problems. The company says 2 scheduled return crossings will be rerouted through Port aux Basques, and affected customers will be notified.
Time for a check of your forecast. Ryan Snodden in for Ashley again this evening. And let's start in Western Labrador with, again, the focus on the Churchill Falls area. Lots of sunshine on tap for tomorrow. Temperatures near 19. Now, thankfully, the wind's a little bit lighter here over the next couple of days, which is great. That continues into Sunday as well. Now, while sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, there is a pretty good chance of showers overnight Saturday, but looks like it's going to amount to less than 5 millimeters, so really nothing significant there. Now, as we turn the page into Monday, there is a greater chance for some more widespread scattered showers, but again, really nothing substantial, perhaps until mid to late next week. And so, yeah, firefighters there, a bit of an uphill battle in terms of what they're encountering from Mother Nature. So an area of high pressure sliding off. There is, again, a very isolated risk of a shower overnight tonight in Western Labrador as well. For Saturday, again, pretty quiet day in Labrador. We are going to be watching that chance of a pop-up shower for central parts of the island, edging towards the Avalon for Saturday evening if you have some plans. And then for Saturday night, again, this little system coming in here will bring that risk of a Saturday night shower to Labrador, and that will be throwing, again, maybe an isolated risk of a shower towards the later stages of Sunday for southeastern Labrador, and also a risk of a pop-up shower Sunday afternoon ahead of this larger system, which moves in Sunday night into Monday, especially for the southeast half of the island. Your full forecast details on that are coming up in just a few minutes. Carolyn.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Today is National Indigenous Peoples Day, and in St. John's, the day began with a sunrise ceremony at Bannerman Park. The event was organized by First Light and was one of the largest sunrise ceremonies the group has ever held. It kicked off a day of celebrating Indigenous culture and traditions. And those celebrations continued in St. John's in Bannerman Park in the afternoon, where the public was invited to take in drumming, dancing, and cultural displays.
Today is really special to recognize the success and resilience and the beauty in all of the diverse Indigenous cultures that are here in the urban center of St. John's. I mean, a lot of us grew up in rural communities. Myself, I'm from Meopokic First Nation. So when I moved here, just having that place like the Friendship Center to connect and to support each other and to celebrate your culture is just so important. And then June 21st to recognize all Indigenous peoples and come together and celebrate together and raise awareness of our culture and share in the beauty that is our culture with non-Indigenous people as well. When we first started recognizing the day and coming together to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day, it was a lot smaller, such a smaller scale, and it has grown and grown to be this big, beautiful event. And that just shows that more people are aware that we're here, we're still here. More people want to celebrate with us, want to contribute towards reconciliation, share their cultures with us. Really, it's just a welcoming atmosphere for people to come, enjoy, to sing, to dance, to talk to community members, a lot of reconnection with people you haven't seen in a long time, and it should just be a beautiful day for everyone. The city of St. John's actually recognized National Indigenous Peoples Day observed. That day used to be called Discovery Day. And as we all know, there were already Indigenous peoples in these lands, on these lands. These lands belong to Indigenous people. And so to have that day, the name of that day, Discovery Day, go through a couple transitions, but now finally be a day to recognize Indigenous people, it just shows the growth and how far we have all come.
Well, to the West Coast now, Halibut First Nation celebrated National Indigenous Peoples Day with events on the Majestic Lawn in Corner Brook, and that's where local craft vendors set up shop. Here Now's Colleen Connors asked people taking part about the significance of this day.
It means like showing who you are. Like, don't be shy to be you. Don't just be you. You're Indigenous, so show it off, I guess.
That's a great way to describe it. Can you tell me more about what you're wearing, and is that what you mean by show it off?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I'm wearing my medallion and my earrings, and my friend made them for me, and I'm wearing my ribbon skirt that I made.
Deloise Keith Cormier.
And tell us, what does National Indigenous Peoples Day mean to you, Keith?
Well, at this day, and a lot of days, I think about my grandmother, Mary Elizabeth Prosper. They had to hide their identity because her husband couldn't get a job in the mill. And here we are, less than 100 years later, and I'm standing in a beautiful park with my two beautiful grandchildren, Emily and Liam, that live here in Corner Brook. And we can say it loudly and proudly that we are Indigenous people. And for a lot of people in Newfoundland, that didn't happen. The 1949 stuff with Joey Smallwood and that kind of stuff. But we've always been here. Our people have been on this land for thousands and thousands of years. Historical records are there. So just stand out, say it loud, say it proud, walk the talk, right? Be kind to Mother Earth, and teach your grandchildren, because that's the next generation. These are the ones who are going to carry this movement forward.
It is very much. I'm really proud. I'm proud to be Indigenous. Growing up in Burgeo, we didn't, recognize our Indigenous culture as much. I mean, I did come from a big family. We weren't that well off growing up, but we knew we had Indigenous background in our family. But right now, like with my drum, and even this fist belonged to my late brother that just recently passed. So like I'm wearing that with pride. So like I'm really, really proud to be here today and represent our Indigenous people, even in Corner Brook and across the nation.
It's a mixture of everything. Like, it is definitely a celebration. Look around at all the happy people, and that's what we're supposed to be, a happy, loving people. And it should be reflected to everybody, no matter what color, no matter what race, anything. Like, welcome everybody with open arms.
Well, Newfoundland and Labrador, the name of the province, will soon show up on sports jerseys in England. It's all part of a 2-year soccer, or should I say football, partnership with United Kingdom football club Barrow AFC. Here's more from today's announcement.
Soccer is the world's game. And today, I am very, very proud to co-announce with Barrow AFC that a strategic partnership has been formed that will see Newfoundland and Labrador become the primary sponsor of this historic and accomplished English Football League club. And in doing so, we will reach out not just to the entire UK, but to 194 nations around the globe. This partnership forms today. I have an opportunity now to introduce 2 amazing athletes who represent Barrow AFC. Niall Canavan, captain of Barrow AFC, and Paul Farman, goalkeeper for Barrow AFC, will now join us. I'm going to take this on right now.
Ooh, it's a small.
Okay, we won't be doing that. We won't be doing that. So we have, this is a thing of all English football. We have Newfoundland and Labrador meets Barrow.
Well, the 96th running of the Tely 10 is set to happen on Sunday. Nearly 3,000 people have registered for the popular annual event that starts in Paradise, goes through Mount Pearl, and then finishes in Bannerman Park. The 16-kilometer, 10-mile race is the biggest in the province, but it's not easy. We spoke with a local runner and running coach to learn more.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, the first topic that comes up that I was surprised to find out as a new runner myself is, what's your Tely time? And everybody wants to know, what is your Tely time? I think the Tely, with its connection to the local telegram and the local culture, and starting off as such a small race down around George V Park and then expanding, has really caught the attention of the general public. The 10-mile distance is kind of a rarity in the sport of road running, even in North America. So even that has attracted some folks from the mainland to come down over the years to compete in our world-class race. Well, I've run the Tely 22 times. My favorite part about the race, I think, to be honest with you, and I'd say most runners would say this, is the start line and the finish line. Because the start line is such a hub of excitement and anticipation. Everybody is gearing up and ready to go. And then you get to the finish line and it's just sheer joy. In all of its forms, smiles, family members congratulating you on your accomplishment. No matter what your pace is, you've accomplished something that a lot of folks kind of look at you and say, well, nobody's chasing you, so why are you running? And you ask a runner and they know exactly why. You train to find out what you're capable of doing. So on race day, you really don't want to try and exceed that. And that could include something like a new set of sneakers, trying to go out at a faster pace than you've done in training, and getting caught up, I guess, in the event rather than forgetting to enjoy it. And that's the big thing with the Tely. The course being lined from start to finish with well-wishers and family members and just the general public cheering people on is something to really embrace and enjoy, because it's unique with races in our province in particular.
Well, a somber ceremony was held at Harborside Park in St. John's today. More than a dozen family members came from Spain to say goodbye to the crew of a Spanish fishing vessel that sunk off the Grand Banks in 2022. It was the largest loss of life at sea off Newfoundland in decades. Today, the Spanish ambassador thanked the province for its help during that dark time.
On February 15th, 2022, the vessel was lost in the sea, and we lost 21 wonderful sailors. Newfoundland, even if they were in international waters, was the closest point of land. So, after a search and rescue operation, after the support of Canadian authorities, of the 21, 9 corpses were recovered and were taken by a Spanish vessel, Playa de Menduñados, and a Canadian ship, to the port of St. John's. And just after that, all the repatriation and the transportation of the corpse took place in 48 hours in an unprecedented repatriation operation. Why was that possible? It was possible because of you, Newfoundlanders. 6 services involved mobilized themselves in a weekend. We got all their certificates. A Royal Air Force Spanish plane was sent, and the corpses were in the hands of the families welcomed in Spain. 12 were not recovered. And today we are closing this terrible suffering from the families with a burial place, which will be at the heart of St. John's Harbour, where the remains of the recovered came just 200 meters from here and facing the exact line in the ocean in which the remains of the boat are sunk. So from that perspective, what I would like to tell you is that we are truly thankful from the bottom of our hearts for making this possible and for bringing our people closer together. Spain, as Newfoundland, has a tradition of centuries fishing out in the open sea. So also in this profile you will find very devoted and committed people. It's not an easy life. We can never forget that this ocean that is uniting us makes us share also principles and values. So you will find very similar families with the same principles and values than the ones that you find on this side of the ocean. Connection to the sea, openness, warm people as Newfoundlanders are.
Well, an update now to that story we brought you yesterday about the entangled eaglet. Jeff Smith snapped this photo today. You can see the plastic wrapped around the bird's leg. Parks Canada is reportedly consulting with an arborist and Rock Wildlife Rescue on how to best help the bird safely.
The weekend is here and not looking too bad. We'll see a few showers in the mix both Saturday and Sunday, but some sunshine as well, especially on Saturday. Your full weather forecast is coming up. All right, time for your full weather forecast. Ryan Snodden in for Ashley again this evening and with the weekend details. But before we do that, we have to look back at this historic heat across Atlantic Canada over the last 2 days. And yes, Newfoundland, new record, a new June record for the St. John's Airport, not quite beating the old downtown site from the early 1900s. Terra Nova, though, 35.4. That's a new all-time record for that site. Never hotter than 35.4 in July or August, let alone June. And also the warmest temperature ever recorded on the island in the month of June. Labrador, Happy Valley Goose Bay, takes the cake for that record for the province as a whole. Gander 33.3 is also a new June record, and Winterland as well, 26.9, a new June record. And then look at the records across the Maritimes as well. New provincial record in New Brunswick for the month of June, PEI, and an all-time record for St. John, New Brunswick. Just a really impressive and historic heat wave for June the 19th and 20th, one that we'll be talking about for years, no doubt about it. Highs today, that's more like it. Yeah, for sure. Low 20s in most cases, temperatures into the teens across Labrador, 10 and 12 degrees, Nain back through Makkovik. Couple of isolated showers here possible along this little band, which will clip in across southeastern parts of Newfoundland tonight. Overall, pretty quiet though, and you can see that band tracks all the way back to the Great Lakes, holding hands with this larger system, which we will be watching for the later stages of the weekend, more so Sunday night into Monday. Also watching that system across Hudson Bay. So yeah, that little wave will push in across eastern Newfoundland tonight with that chance of a shower. Isolated shower chances, including for Churchill Falls, Lab City, Happy Valley Goose Bay, and up towards Cartwright overnight tonight. Let's run you through the timeline here. So that high sinks to the south. There's that little isolated risk of a shower overnight in Labrador. Tomorrow, looking pretty good, right? But then we've got, just a weak little trough here, which will pop up the potential for some afternoon showers, central in particular. Can't rule it out. You can see here, Bayvert Peninsula back towards the Corner Brook region. And we will be watching again for the possibility of an evening shower, an overnight shower, good possibility for Lab City back into Churchill Falls. Temperatures right around 20, 22 degrees, you can see there for most of Labrador, inland areas anyway, cooler along parts of the coast. And there's that risk for some showers edging in across Newfoundland into the afternoon. Those winds from the southwest tomorrow, really nice first weekend day of summer. Now, as we can see into the evening, there is a slight risk for the Avalon for Saturday evening, so be mindful of that. For Sunday, sunshine early, increasing clouds, and note just the possibility of some pop-up showers into the afternoon on Sunday, not only for central, but also for southeastern Labrador where the sun is shining. Little front here in through Labrador will certainly be separating the cooler air in the north to the warmer air across the south. And note with that southwest flow, cooler, high teens, low 20s in those onshore winds along the south coast will pop nicely into the 24, 25, 26, maybe even 27 range across the north parts of the island. And again, in that daytime heating is where we'll run the risk of a pop-up shower ahead of that next system. And that next system will track in for Sunday night, wet weather, mainly for the southeastern half of the island, but we'll be, again, watching that one over the next couple of days. And there are those showers for Monday that I was talking about earlier in the program for Churchill Falls and western and even central parts of Labrador. So enjoy the weekend. We will be, looking a little damp here into the early stages of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all looking at least a chance for showers. Best chance is certainly Sunday night and Monday. Central Newfoundland, again, isolated risk Saturday and again on Sunday. Overall, though, pretty good weekend. Looking at a better chance for showers into early next week. Similar story for the western parts of the island. Isolated chance for showers Saturday and Sunday. Greater risk Monday into Tuesday, clearing out Wednesday. And then again for eastern Labrador, isolated risk Sunday. Monday, a little more of a scattered risk. And then for Wednesday into Thursday, hopeful that we'll see something maybe a little more substantial moving into Labrador. That is still remains to be seen, but our fingers crossed are certainly crossed there for Wednesday into Thursday, especially for western Labrador. That is your forecast now. Carolyn, back to you.
Well, there's been a lot of stress and uncertainty around Churchill Falls over the past couple of days, but there was a rainbow over the community yesterday, perhaps a sign of better things to come. Let's hope. There's a new multi-generational choir in Evacuee First Nation. We spoke to some of its members about how it all came to be and the difference it's been making in the community.
It's kind of how we cope, you know? Like kind of what brings us together, no matter like what time of life it is. Kind of, it's a place to like not feel judgment with each other, you know? You just get to enjoy your favorite songs and sing. You don't really think about anything then.
What does it help you cope with?
Life. Daily stresses, could be internal, you know? Whatever you need it for that day. Music just makes you feel like somebody, you know? And then when you don't really have anybody, then you listen to your favorite song or like something that means something to you, and you don't really feel as alone anymore, I guess.
I was approached by the organizers of the Harbour Voices Festival, knowing that I was here in Evacuee. Would I be able to bring a group to the choral festival? It just sort of evolved to become a multi-generational group, the moms and the grandmothers of the youth that are in the choir.
You don't get many opportunities to sit down with that many generations around you, you know? I feel kind of like lucky to have that.
It brought us together and showed our strength. Like, there's some powerful singers in there, people that I never knew could sing like that, and you know, and it's showcasing our own talent, and we have so much talent within this community.
We have identified people who have extraordinary musical abilities that they would probably never have known that they had. And I've watched those people then begin to excel in other areas of their lives because now they feel a little bit better about themselves.
I feel like I gotten better in singing, it improved my vocals, and I've been getting better with eye contact, so I can't make eye contact.
And your confidence.
Yeah.
I've seen the confidence in her.
I don't know how to put it in words. It's more of like a feeling. Like, I've always had like really bad anxiety, but it kind of just goes away when I sing. So it just helps me like relax and relieve that stress that I have. We're learning more things, like more words in Mi'kmaq, just through music too. Like, we could sing The Climb now in Mi'kmaq. Like, I would have never expected that.
It's easier to learn language.
Yeah.
Like through
music.
You know, our language being taken from us and being withheld, you know, it's nice to be able to have those, be able to revive, I guess, those practices and be able to do them without repercussion. Intergenerational trauma takes a toll on the community's ability to gather and to accept each other, you know, so music will help, hopefully, you know, reconcile that and be together again and be able to practice those big cultural things and actually enjoy being a part of it and not feel like an internal, you know, battle with that.
We'll be heading into St. John's at the end of June, participating in the Harbour Voices Festival.
I didn't expect us to travel, but it's like a good surprise, like a woo.
So really, if it hadn't been for our invite to the Harbour Voices Festival, we may never have even started this choral program.
The third NASCAR Canada Touring Series is about to pull into Eastbound Speedway in Avondale. Among the drivers, 18-year-old Sarah Thorne from Chance Cove, who's the youngest driver to compete.
This is the steering wheel. It comes on and off for getting in the car. When there was an Avondale dirt track, my dad used to race out there, and then he gave it up for family reasons. And then we got into the oval when my cousin Shane Coffin used to race in it. And then it became a family thing from there again. Fan that goes directly hooked up to my helmet through this tube, so it keeps me cool throughout the race. I love going fast, so I guess that's just what I was bred into. I would always love to go more professional with it, but this is the highest caliber of racing that the island has seen. And I'm excited to do it again this year in the NASCAR Canada Series.
This will be our third race here. It's very popular with the people. The teams love it. The teams enjoy coming here. It's great for everybody. It's a good family environment. The track is competitive. The province is awesome. The people are great. They enjoy the tourism. They enjoy being in St. John's. Right now we just got the hauler staged. Tomorrow we move into the racetrack. We're taking our hauler down to the tent for the concert. The race will be on Saturday. We move in there 8 o'clock in the morning, practice qualifying, do an inspection, have our race Saturday at meet.
I would love to leave and pursue somewhere else. I'm doing a few races this year up in the mainland. I've done a few before, but this year will be, I think, 5 of them, including 2 more in the Canada Series up at Riverside next weekend, Canada Day weekend. And I'm hoping to go to North Carolina sometime and hopefully race in the Cars Tour there.
We're a little more than a week away from the rededication of the National War Memorial and the unveiling of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. On July 1st, many will wonder if that soldier could be one of their own. We spoke with Eleanor Manuel about that as part of a special documentary, which will be airing on Tuesday on Here and Now, and here's a taste.
My grandfather was killed in Beaumont Hamel. When he went away, he left his girlfriend, and she was pregnant. And I believe, like a lot of those young men that went away, they thought they were going to be gone for a few months and the war would be over and they'd come back and carry on with their lives. And it was not until November of that year that his father really found out if he was missing or if he'd been taken prisoner or if he'd actually been killed. You know, there must have been a lot of paperwork had to be done at that time. And I have copies of telegrams that my grandfather sent back and forth to find out if his son was missing or if he was prisoner. So it was a traumatic time.
So for only the second time in Canada, we're having a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and one of our own is being brought home. This could very well be your grandfather.
It could very well be.
So I want you to reflect on that for a second.
That went through my mind when they brought the unknown soldier home to Ottawa. The thought crossed my mind, is there a possibility that maybe that could be my grandfather's remains? It could have been as many as, you know, any of them. And the thought crossed my mind again when I knew that they were going to have a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in St. John's. It's a bittersweet honor, you know, if that were the case. It's bittersweet honor. I mean, whoever it is, it's still a great honor to have our own provincial unknown soldier.
It's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 57th anniversary to George and Maxine Lewis of Labrador City. Wishing Alan and Sheila Thompson of Labrador City a happy 60th anniversary. Congratulations to Agnes and Ron Richard of Gander, celebrating 64 years of wedded bliss. Happy 64th anniversary also to Alec and Ella Noseworthy from Fortune. Dennis and Sharon Dunn of St. John's, now in Stratford PEI, are celebrating their 55th anniversary today. Happy 56th anniversary going out to Calvin and Evelyn Russell of Bay Roberts. Happy anniversary to Thomas and Margaret Stamp of Kelligrews. It's their 61st tomorrow. Violet and Joe Tarrant from Wabush are celebrating 50 years of marriage. Happy 69th anniversary to Donald and Sybil Noble of Gander Bay. Wishing a happy anniversary to Ron and Patsy Doyle of Petty Harbor Maddox Cove. It's their 57th anniversary. Congratulations to Ernest and Sandra Duffett from St. John's, who will celebrate their 60th anniversary tomorrow. Happy anniversary to Sunny and Norma Savory of Port aux Basques. They've been married 62 years today. Harvey and Phyllis Follett of Grand Bank are marking a golden anniversary. Congratulations. Happy 50th anniversary also to Vincent and Mary Basha in Portugal Cove. Happy 53rd anniversary to Dale and Alexander Wilcott of Grand Falls, Windsor. Congratulations to Sandra and Earl Anderson of Burgoyne's Cove, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Happy 63rd anniversary to Percy and Selena Stacy of St. Lawrence. 50th wedding anniversary greetings going out to John and Kathy Stanley of Goulds. Happy anniversary to Herb and Murtis Spurl, who are celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Best wishes to Frank and Shirley Sturge of St. John's on their 60th anniversary. Happy 60th anniversary also to Piercy and Shirley Patey from St. Anthony. Now to some birthdays. Happy 94th birthday to Teresa Dobbin of Port Saunders. Birthday wishes going out to Ruby Skinner from St. Philip's, who just turned 97. Happy 90th birthday to Emmeline Budden of Lewisport. Roy Maybe of St. John's is celebrating his 93rd birthday. Happy 90th birthday to Ethel Guy from Arnold's Cove, now in St. John's. Happy 97th birthday to Korean War veteran Leslie Mercer. Wishing Douglas Newhook of Norman's Cove a happy 97th birthday tomorrow. Happy 91st birthday to Angela Chidley of Renews. Alma Newbury from Kings Point, now living in Corner Brook, just celebrated her 95th birthday. Birthday greetings going out to Eric Stanley of Clarenville, who turned 97 this week. Wishing Gladys White of Corner Brook a happy 98th birthday on Wednesday. Happy 90th birthday to Alice Drake of Raccoon, now living in Marystown. Wishing Gladys King a very happy 95th birthday. She's from Perry's Cove and now lives in Carbonear. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. And a quick note before we leave you tonight, the dates for this summer's food fishery have been released. Starting next Saturday, people can head out to catch codfish for 3 days a week on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays until early September. Same rules apply. 5 fish per person with a maximum of 15 fish per boat. No license or tags required. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us and hope you have a wonderful weekend.